All right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well on this wonderful Sunday morning here in October 20th, 2019. All right, so it is 8:31 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. A couple pieces of information that we need to pretty much talk about in terms of fantasy football. So similar to last week, in a couple seconds, I will be transitioning to our next page where it'll have the updated rankings from every position this week. Like we talked about earlier, but really quickly, gotta just check a couple things here. All right, so what's up, guys? Good morning, everybody. All right, so really quickly, let me check. All right, Stephen Drakes is already coming in with some donations. All right, Stephen. Goff for Josh Allen. All right, in a couple seconds, you'll figure that out. Thank you for the donation, brother. But either way, couple pieces of information that we need to talk about in terms of injuries. Actually, you know what? I'll just transition. It'll probably, we'll just figure this out when we get here. All right. But before we get there, guys, don't forget, click the like button on today's video. I really do appreciate that. It helps me out a lot. It helps the YouTube algorithm system suggest my videos more, outside of the fact that, views, traffic, stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. And if you would go on ahead and do that, I appreciate that. All right, let's get into this, shall we? Okay, so like we did last week, I think this is an easier way to stay up to date in terms of rankings without me having to pretty much yell at everyone, hey, this over this, this over this. This kind of gives you a better idea. As we've talked about in the past, I don't answer flex questions anymore. Those are only for Patreon subscribers. So for those of you who are looking to support on Patreon, the link is down in the description of the video. I appreciate any sort of support. So thank you again for those of you who have already gone ahead and done that. So really quickly, top 16 quarterbacks, top 36 running backs, top 36-7 wide receivers. We're still waiting on some information on whether or not Marquez Valdes-Scantling will be full go today. Top 12 tight ends. And then we have our injured players and out guys. Devontae Adams, AJ Green, Alvin Kamara, Sterling Shepard, Tyrell Williams, Chris Thompson, Malcolm Brown, Jared Cook, Christian Kirk, Deshaun Jackson, Deebo Samuel, and Josh Gordon, all already confirmed to be out this week. Still waiting on some news about Marquise Hollywood Brown. If in fact we get that news in the coming minutes, that would be fantastic to alleviate some of the question marks surrounding that situation. Other than that, in terms of questionable players, we have David Johnson and Amari Cooper. I anticipate both of them will be playing. The news as of late has been that they will both be participating and playing today and be active. Therefore, they will, be as where they sit. Amari Cooper, number one, playing against that Philadelphia secondary that got completely torched by the Vikings passing offense last week. And then we have David Johnson as my number 3 running back. He's been absolutely incredible. The matchup is very favorable against the New York Giants. Even with him being limited at times, he is the number 1 wide receiver of this team. And he is the entire offense. So all in all, another great fantasy prospect there. Even with that, I still have Chase Edmonds at my number 32 running back. I think if you are in need of a flex play, it's not a bad idea considering the matchup and how high scoring this event between these two teams, the Giants and the Cardinals, can be this week. So that's pretty much that. In terms of questionable players, that will be GTD, which is a game time decision. Again, that is Marquez Valdes-Scantling. We're still I think, if I'm not mistaken, Geronimo Allison is done. But I somewhere I read this morning that Geronimo might be a game time decision. Only time will tell, I suppose. And then Dede Westbrook, who is expected to play, also a game time decision. Okay, so let's get over here and let me go ahead and check a couple of these things out. So to Stephen Drakes, thank you for the donation, brother. I would take Josh Allen over Jared Goff this week. Just the ability to get the extra rushing yards and rushing points. Like I mentioned earlier in the week during the quarterbacks video, Josh Allen last season as a rookie, even against the Miami Dolphins defense, which was far better than it is right now in terms of having personnel and talent. Josh Allen was able to have a couple games in which he ran over 100 some odd yards, had 4 touchdowns in one game, 3 in the other. I think this is an extremely favorable matchup for the Bills offense, and they're going to be able to run all over this Miami defense. So to Stephen Drakes, thank you for the donation. Matt B coming in with a donation says Miles Sanders or Cole Beasley in a full PPR. Today I'm going to go with Cole Beasley in the full PPR. I think Okay, so sure, you have John Brown. You have, I mean, really outside of John Brown, maybe Duke Williams, which a lot of people are kind of like building some hype around, the undrafted, Clemson wide receiver. As of right now, I'm probably going Cole Beasley. I know the last time out for the Buffalo Bills, he didn't see many targets, but we've seen him see 9+ targets 3 out of the 5 games that this offense has played. So I think going forward into this matchup, not a bad idea to play, especially in a full PPR. Miles Sanders does get a lot of work in the passing game for certain, but unless he catches a touchdown, it's going to be a lot harder for him to catch up on Cole Beasley because he's not getting much of the rushing work, and especially on the goal line, he's never getting into the end zone. So I'm going to go with Beasley on that. Matt, thank you for the donation. Jason says, need a wide receiver off the wire. Wait, what? Need a wide receiver off wire. Most team on by 10-week PPR. Okay, and then you came in with another donation saying Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Allison are both a go this week. Really? Are we 100% certain that? Okay, let me look this up really quickly, just so I'm actually curious. Okay, let's see. Where is the latest info on that? I gotta look this up. All right, yeah. Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Geronimo Allison are active today. Therefore, I mean, look, they're not technically going to be fully healthy, but they're active, and that means that the value of Allen Lazard, definitely goes down. So that's why I had him at that fringe bottom of the half, split 36. But with that information, should be good to go. But anyway, Jason, if you're asking me because you're saying you need a wide receiver off the waiver wire in a 10-team league, if your options are MVS and Allison, I'd rather play MVS this week. Like Glockwork with the $2 donation says Goff or Allen. Pretty much Stephen Drake's got that question for you. Also, it was on screen, but thank you for the donation. I really do appreciate it. Again, Josh Allen is the play in my eyes, but I do think, guys, the difference between a Josh Allen and a Jared Goff isn't far apart this week in terms of production. I think both of them are going to have big games. I think we'll be splitting hairs if we're trying to determine who's going to have that extra touchdown or extra points. At this point, I think the Miami matchup, just in my opinion, and I understand just how bad Atlanta's been, but I think both of them have been so bad that you can play either quarterback and be confident with your play. I'm just concerned about a couple girly, steals by the goal line or in the red zone. Superstar Frenzy with a donation says, pick 2, Galladay, Michelle, Edmonds in a half PPR. I played Galladay and Michelle. I'd leave Edmonds on the bench considering David Johnson's going to play. The only reason I would ever consider putting Edmonds in the game is if he had upside of touchdown, which he does. He scored touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, but the question is is the fact that he scored a touchdown relevant, or is it going to be an actual thing that he's going to consistently see? Because touchdowns are the most inconsistent and probably the toughest thing to predict in fantasy football generally. And in terms of, touches, opportunity, I would rather, stick with guys like Galladay and Michelle at the moment. Thank you for the donation. Triggered easily with the donation says David Montgomery or Jamison Crowder, full PPR. I play Jamison Crowder. I'm a little worried about the Bears matchup against that defense for the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans offensively will be a man down offensive. Actually a couple of people down offensively with Jared Cook and Alvin Kamara, so they could struggle easily offensively. But in terms of their defense, they have been lights out in terms of stopping the run, especially. In the passing game, they have struggled. And I don't think Mitchell Trubisky will be able to take advantage of that. So as of right now with David Montgomery, I'd rather play Jamison Crowder that is, seeing a pretty good amount of work in the slot position, and especially in a full PPR. Thank you for the donation. Jeff with the donation says Duke Williams or Lazard. Bye week is killing me. I'd play Duke Williams. As of right now, from what I just heard with, or what we've just confirmed with Allison and Marquez Valdes-Scantling both being active, I would play Duke Williams for the Bills at this moment. Pineapple on pizza or no? Depends, Austin. Would I eat? Look, here's the thing. If you put a piece of bread in front of me with a piece of cheese on it, and it happens to have a pineapple on it, do you think that's going to stop me? Like, if I'm hungry enough, you think it's going to stop me? Probably not. Probably just going to go right through it. If you put a piece of cardboard on it, I'd probably still go through it. So, it's not a matter of preference. I wouldn't prefer it, but Do I mind it? No, I don't. I like pineapples. Why not? I mean, it's not a problem. All right, but thank you for the donation, Austin. Emmanuel Garcia with a donation says, Brandon Cooks or Golden Tate? Pretty certain. Let's go look at this list, shall we? I'm pretty sure I have Brandon Cooks. Yeah, number 22 and 23, yeah. Again, the only reason I have them relatively close, Brandon Cooks got an incredible matchup, and so does Golden Tate himself specifically. A lot of people were worried, hey, is Golden Tate going to get locked down this week by Patrick Peterson? Patrick Peterson is not going to be guarding the slot. He's going to be guarding Darius Slayton. So Golden Tate has an opportunity in the slot position to get a lot of work. But in terms of whether or not, he's a better choice than Brandon Cooks, I'd rather play Brandon Cooks this week. Thank you for the donation. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Big Jim Jean coming in with a donation. Thank you very much, sir. Marvin Jones or Adam Humphries. Okay, so here's the thing about Adam Humphries. So I did mention him earlier this week because of the fact that Ryan Tannehill loves to target the slot position so much. We saw it back in Miami. This is a guy that consistently will target that position. The issue is, in my opinion, Desmond King. He is the slot corner for the Chargers. He is one of, if not the best slot corners in the National Football League. Typically, slot receivers against the Chargers have not played well because of his presence. So, would I play Adam Humphries this week? Probably not. I do not think he's going to have a fantastic week. In a PPR in the coming weeks, I absolutely think he is probably a pickup and stash. So as of this week, Big Jim Jean, I will be playing Marvin Jones. Thank you for the donation. All right, I Shine 101. It says Latavius Murray or Miles Sanders PPR. I'd rather play Latavius Murray. I think there's just more of an opportunity there. PPR, sure. Miles Sanders catches 4 passes, 40 some odd yards. If he doesn't get that touchdown, he could end up with he could still end up with a 10-point game. But I just think the ceiling is a lot higher and the floor is a lot higher for Latavius Murray, as he's going to be handling all the snaps out of that backfield. Thank you for the donation. So my choice, I Shine, is Latavius Murray. All right, Jason with the donation says, I need a wide receiver in a PPR. Cobb, Anderson, Lazard, Allison. Or question mark. Okay, so here's the question. Is Randall Cobb going to play today? That is a really vital question. But because I know for certain we're going to see a lot of usage of Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. They're both healthy and ready to go today. I mean, I don't know how healthy Amari is, but he's supposed to be playing. Cowboys expect Randall Cobb to play. So yeah, he should be active, but am I starting him over Anderson, Robbie Anderson? No, I probably play Robbie Anderson ahead of him. Lazard or Allison, because of I probably play Robbie. Look, here's the thing about Robbie Anderson too, because I'm always going to be worried about his situation here. When you have Stephon Gilmore on you, and then they're going to double cover you with one of the two McCourty twins. The issue becomes whether or not you can even trust Anderson in a full PPR. In terms of floor, a lot of these guys, as of right now, don't have very high floors. I think Lazard could be the best play of the bunch because I don't know how much usage Allison is really going to get. The question is, where does Lazard go in the pecking order? Because it's going to be MVS, Allison, Kumaro, then Lazard. I think he's the number 4 of that bunch. And unless somebody goes down with an injury, he's not going to really see much, in my opinion, in terms of snap counts from weeks prior. So as of right now, I'm going to eliminate Lazard. I don't really want to touch Allison. So it's between Cobb and Anderson. Between the two, I'm probably going Anderson. I'm risking it for the biscuit. Thank you for the donation, Jason. Let's see here. Why did it scroll so much? Okay. I have to do something really quickly. Did I check this? Yeah, okay. All right. I'll get to your guys' questions in a second. Okay, now that I've answered that, I can get back here. All right, so let's see here. Sorry, guys. Okay, Superstar Frenzy says Latavius Murray, Lockett, Fitzgerald with Christian Kirk out. Half PPR. Oh, okay. I'm probably going Tyler Lockett this week between the bunch of them. I like the idea of playing Latavius. Oh, we get to pick two. Oh, okay. All right. I think I'm going Lockett and Fitz. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Lockett and Fitz. I'm thinking, okay, sure. I don't even have to. I don't want to like say that Latavius Murray is not a great play, but he's not Alvin Kamara. We all know that. Latavius Murray is a different animal. He's a different type of running back. 6'2", 225 pounds, coming downhill on you. He's a heavy running back that's gonna run in between the tackles and not do much else. I think between the upsides and the floors, I think sure Latavius Murray can get his touches, but personally I'd rather play Lockett and Fitz in that half PPR scoring format, Superstar Frenzy. So that's my suggestion. Okay, Austin with a donation says smash that like button in all caps with 3 E's at the end, and didn't put any exclamation points, but hey guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Thank you very much, Austin, for the donation. Dave says, who's the best Jets wide receiver rest of season, Crowder or Anderson? Okay, so I think Crowder has the highest potential of touchdown upside going forward after this week. In terms of being able to, on one deep ball, 40-yard reception for a touchdown, something like that. Jamison Crowder is not catching the ball very far, off of the line of scrimmage. Like he's catching the ball maybe 3 or 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. In terms of, yards after the catch isn't great. A lot of his value, at least Crowder's value, is in a full PPR and hoping he gets, 6 to 8, catches a game in the hopes that he gets about 10 targets. So who do I prefer rest of the season? I prefer Anderson because the upside is there. The ceiling is there rest of season rather than the safety of Crowder. Now, if you're someone that has both, certainly can play both. But personally, I think best Jets wide receiver going forward is going to be Robbie Anderson. Tough matchup this week, but yeah, he should be. He's my favorite of the two going forward. Thank you, Dave. Thoughts on Pettis? Yeah, absolutely. Deebo Samuel's out. Pettis has seen, especially last week, he saw the most snaps amongst all wide receivers for the San Francisco 49ers last week. Also, the Washington Redskins have given up 10 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers thus far this season, which is tied for the most in the National Football League right now. So the way I see it, I think Dante Pettis is going to be the number one of this team. The conditions in that Washington game aren't great, but I still do think that he's probably going to see a fair amount of targets and see a good amount of work this week. But he's a lower, rated wide receiver. I think he's a wide receiver 3 on my list. All right, Fortnite Plays with a donation says, start Fuller or Dorsett? Absolutely Will Fuller. Not even close. I would rather cut off my hand than start Dorsett over Will Fuller this week. Thank you very much for the donation, Fortnite Plays. All right, moving on. Goodness gracious, I'm trying to catch up, guys. Here we go. Okay, Greg Daughtry with the donation says, risk McLaurin this week, ? Safer play Ridley. I 100% suggest playing Ridley. It's a far better matchup. Jalen Ramsey will be playing, and he will be on Julio Jones, which will force a lot of Matt Ryan's targets towards in the direction of an Austin Hooper or Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, all that jazz. But as of right now, I personally would rather play Ridley over McLaurin this week. I know McLaurin's been fantastic, 5 touchdowns in 5 weeks. He's been on fire. That's for certain. But considering the matchup of both of them and their floors and their safety, I would rather play Ridley. Thank you, Greg, for the donation. All right, Glockwork with another donation says, Gore or Howard, Breida or Mixon. I'd rather play Gore over Howard. Running backs versus Miami. That's all I got to say. Also, Breida over Mixon. The Washington defense isn't great. Mixon has been struggling due to the offensive line play, due to the fact that their offense in general cannot keep up in games and cannot take leads in games. Therefore, they are never running the ball in the second half. They're always passing, and he does not often see work in the passing game. Giovanni Bernard is coming in, spicing and peppering here and there. So, Gore over Howard, Breida over Mixon. Thank you very much, like Glockwork, for the donation. All right, Chris with a donation says, what's up, Andrew? Love the content, bro. In the standard, please pick 2. Tevin Coleman, Kerryon Johnson, or Chark. One would be a flex. Okay, cool. So I would rather play Tevin Coleman over Kerryon Johnson this week. Coleman, of the 2 running backs in the 49ers backfield, as of right now, is seeing the most touches and getting the most work in terms of being that RB1. that we anticipated him to be before the season began. But as of right now, Kerryon Johnson or DJ Chark. I'd probably play Chark over. It's a standard league, right? You know what? I'm still going to play Chark. I'm just, I don't know. Usually, typically, in the standard league, I always want to play the running back position, which is typically safe is because of the inherent amount of touches they're going to get out of that backfield. But as of right now, I think I'd rather play Chark. He had a little bit of a slow week last week. He'll probably get back on track considering they're playing the Bengals. It is a really favorable matchup for them. Kerryon Johnson against that Vikings defense, not been able to really make any strides in the running game outside of a couple goal line carries. He's seen, I think, the most goal line carries inside of the 5-yard line amongst all running backs this season. I think he's like 7 or 8. He's only had 3 touchdowns. He has the potential to see more work in the future, but in terms of his production as of late, not really convincing, Chris. So I'm going to go Coleman and Chark. Thank you for the donation. Okay. Juan Vaca Ramirez with the donation says, Mike Williams, Auden Tate, Lazard. Okay, so between those three, if I'm not mistaken, it comes down to either Mike Williams or Auden Tate. I don't really want to touch Lazard at the moment in time. I think I'm probably going Auden Tate. I'm thinking the Jacksonville Jaguars, yes, they don't have Ramsey, which is absolutely fantastic. The chances are they're going to get ahead early, force the Bengals to have to just throw for the entirety of that second half. And a lot of the passes are either going to Boyd or, like the last couple weeks, going towards Auden Tate, where he's getting a lot of work, especially in PPR formats. So between him and Mike Williams, it is a toss-up. I do think the offensive woes of the Los Angeles Chargers, they could turn around this week. You have Hunter Henry. Keenan Allen's going to get more implemented. They're going to get Austin Eckler more established. He's hopefully won't fumble this week. I think Mike Williams becomes eventually that number 4 receiving option on the team, which is unfortunate. But I think in the pecking order in terms of targets, he's probably a little bit farther down the order. So as of right now, I'm probably playing Auden Tate. But Mike Williams always has the upside of touchdown, but I like Tate this week. And then your second question was Gore or Singletary. All right, here's the thought process. Gore is the starting running back as we speak. Singletary is the running back of the future. The way I see it, Gore and Singletary are both going to have good games this week, but the hardest part is determining who's scoring that touchdown, who's having a big run, who's going to carry the ball in the second half when they're up 21-0. Okay? That's my entire, concern at this moment in time. What we've seen from Singletary thus far this season in the first 2 games of the year prior to his injury, he has been ridiculous. So as of right now, between the two, I expect Gore to see more touches early in the game, but I do not mind Singletary later. Personally, I'm going to play Gore because I think he's the goal line back, and if he's going to get a lot of the work early especially, he could see a pretty solid amount of fantasy points in the first half, second half, depending on the game script. But Singletary, not a bad play. I'm just going to go with Gore considering he's a starting running back. I don't know how much work they're going to feed Singletary, but I know they want him to eventually be the starting running back of this team. All right, thank you for the donation, Juan. Let's see here. Okay, what the heck kind of name is this? Poner kills all trolls. Okay, cool. Edmonds or Jamal Williams rest of season drop for Kirk. I'd rather have Jamal Williams rest of season, and yeah. That is my suggestion over Edmonds. Edmonds is only getting as much hype because of David Johnson's, questionable nature of being injured for the last couple of weeks, missing practices, stuff like that. And he scored a couple touchdowns this last 2 weeks, so it makes him look like he's more valuable. But inherently, Jamal Williams is getting like that 50-50 split in that backfield. You saw it on Monday night against the Lions. He's getting a lot of work, and he always has the potential of scoring because of how good that offensive line is, and getting a lot of touches. Also, he, specifically right now, he is the third down back in pass blocking situations and leaking out for passes. So getting a lot of work there too. So Jamal Williams is my suggestion. Thank you very much. DJ 622 with a donation. Thank you very much. Penny versus Duke standard. I'm desperate. Okay. I'm probably not playing Penny this week. I don't even know what Penny's status is at this moment in time. He hasn't played, I think he didn't even play last week. That's for certain, because of the hamstring injury that he sustained in like week 4 or 3. So he's been out for quite some time. So between the two, I'm probably playing Duke Johnson. I just have to see if Penny. I don't even care if Penny's playing. I'm not playing Penny. I'm playing Duke Johnson, even in the standard. You just got to hope for some yards, and you got to hope maybe he gets that touchdown because he's done it in the past. All right, thank you for the donation, DJ. All right, moving on. Manny with the donation says, David Johnson, start David Johnson, ? Singletary and Edmonds on bench. Yeah, I would rather play David Johnson unless, something happened in the last 10 minutes where I didn't see, where it says David Johnson doesn't want to play today. David Johnson's active. So, yeah, we're definitely playing David Johnson over Edmonds and Singletary. Thank you, Manny, for the donation. Moving on. iShine101 says, D.D. Westbrook or Auden Tate PPR? Okay, so to get that question first, let's see here. In terms of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in a PPR between Auden Tate and D.D. Westbrook, my entire issue right now is whether or not D.D. Westbrook is going to see all the work. Now, he's supposed to be active. He's supposed to be playing today, unless something changed in the last. Let me go ahead and check here. D.D. Westbrook is active. Okay, cool. So I got my list. We're chilling. Let me actually go through this list really quickly before. David Johnson active, Geronimo Allison active, Marquez Valdes-Scantling active, Christian Kirk inactive, Devin Singletary active, D.D. Westbrook active, Raheem Mostert active, Josh Norman inactive. Holy moly. Dante Pettis. Trent Brown inactive. Trent Brown is the right tackle of the Raiders. Here comes that Green Bay defense. I'm telling you, just wait. All right, anyway, let me go ahead and refresh this page really quickly. Okay, just have to respond to that really quickly. What is this? Okay, that's that. All right, done. Coming back. Here we go. So anyway, between D.D. Westbrook, Auden Tate, I'd probably play Auden Tate ahead of him because I do think Leonard Fournette's probably going to be running over this defense pretty consistently. And yeah, it'll probably turn into a Jacksonville's up by so many points. It's going to be the Bengals trying to roar back for a comeback. They're not going to be able to mount anything of that sort, but they will pass the ball a lot. Auden Tate has more value in my eyes. Sony Michel or Singletary in a PPR. Love the show. Yeah, thank you very much, iShine. Thank you for the donation again. As of right now, between the two, I think the biggest concern is whether Sony Michel gets into the end zone. And is he capable of doing so? I don't think so. I think there's a higher floor and higher ceiling for a Singletary play this week against the Miami Dolphins. That's why I have him a little bit higher in the rankings. Even in a PPR that even, in my opinion, goes towards the direction of Singletary. We've seen him get a lot of work in the passing game, especially prior to his injury. TJ Yeldon hasn't done much in his absence, but Singletary won't come back and probably fill that void. So I'm going Singletary over Sony Michel. I shine in the full PPR. Thank you very much. Jack with the donation says Terry McLaurin or Kerryon Johnson, half PPR. Yeah, look, this is a tough one because we've got two tough matchups. We have two players that, I feel like Terry McLaurin has been the better player overall this season. Obviously, in terms of points, it's not even close. The question is whether or not Terry McLaurin can get it done again. I'm probably playing McLaurin. I don't know, man. Kerryon Johnson bothers me this week. I'm not saying don't play Kerryon Johnson. I'm just saying, like, he just, for some reason, is giving me bad vibes. Now, he might end up having a 55-point week and, making me want to, stab my eyes out. But as of right now, I probably go McLaurin. If you're someone that in the flex position always likes the value of a running back and the safety of it, then you play Kerryon Johnson. But personally, I'm probably going McLaurin. Thank you for the donation, Jack. Dav King says, Russell or Brady? I'm worried about Thomas and Peters. Oh, okay. So you're worried about the Earl Thomas versus the Seahawks, huh? Interesting. I don't mind playing Brady. I don't think that's a problem at all. I just think that Russell Wilson's been so damn good this year that no one's been able to stop him, despite what kind of situation they've been in. I think Russell Wilson has probably been the best quarterback in the National Football League thus far this season. His ability to also run the ball, etc. That's my suggestion. But if you want to play Brady, you surely can. I personally have Russell Wilson over Brady. Thank you for the donation, DavKing. Okay, let's see here. Sovicia Sok. I don't even understand some of these names. I'm assuming it's Sovicia, right? Something like that. All right. Full PPR, flex, James White, Singletary. All right. This is actually a little bit closer considering how much work James White gets in the passing game. If James White catches like 6 passes, 40-some-odd yards, he's a 10-point play, upside of a touchdown, I'll probably go Singletary still. I don't know. I'm on the Singletary train, guys. I don't know what it is. I'm all in on the Bills completely destroying this Miami team. If the Miami Dolphins will pick up a win today, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. It's just going to be awful. But between the two, thank you for the donation. I'm going with Singletary over James White at this moment in time. All right. Let's see. Zach Hainberg says Slayton, Cobb, Beasley, Sanu, full for the flex PPR. Should I have Julio or Austin Hooper in regards to Sanu? I have Julio and Austin Hooper in regard. Okay. As of right now, I'm probably okay between the two. Okay, because it comes down. I don't want to play Slayton. I don't want to play Cobb. I want to play either Beasley or Sanu. Considering the fact that you are already playing Julio and Austin Hooper, the question is, do you want to completely commit to having the entire offense practically of the Atlanta Falcons? I don't think it's a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. Sanu's going to catch 6 passes. He'll probably get 50 yards. So baseline, 11 points. If he scores a touchdown, 16. Beasley probably will never sniff the end zone. Probably would. You know what? I think Sanu has the better upside. I think I'd play Sanu with even the situation. I don't mind Beasley, but I think both of them are slated to have similar performances in terms of points. But Sanu has the upside of the touchdown. Therefore, I'll go with him. Watch Beasley score. I swear to God. Thank you for the donation, Zach. William with the donation says full PPR, Metcalf or Singletary. I'm playing Singletary at the flex. Metcalf doesn't see enough targets. Jerron Brown, David Moore, a lot of those guys are getting a lot of work. You'll also see, even though, Will Disley went down with an injury last week, they didn't really come back and feed Luke Wilson the ball. We'll probably see more implementation of the tight end this week. So as of right now, I'm probably leaning towards Singletary over Metcalf. Thank you for the donation, William. Armin with a donation. Here we go. Thank you for the donation. He says, wide receiver help, ! Keenan Allen, John Brown, Tyler Lockett, standard. In a standard format, that's a really good question. I'm thinking we're playing Keenan Allen and John Brown this week. Even though I do like the touchdown upside of a Lockett, I'm just a little bit less convinced about it. Is Lockett going to score a touchdown this week? That's the biggest question. As of right now, I want to lean with the idea that if he doesn't, you'd save yourself by not playing him. So I'll probably go with Keenan Allen and John Brown. Thank you, Armin. All right, let's see here. Kevin Lopez with the donation says, full PPR, do I start Melvin Gordon or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones, certainly, especially in a full PPR. I don't want to play Gordon against the Titans over Aaron Jones. I'd much rather play Aaron Jones in that Raiders matchup. San Francisco defense or New England defense? San Francisco on the waiver, thank you. Superstar Frenzy, I'd probably say you stick with the New England defense. There's nothing for you to ever replace them for. Like, they've been so good all season long. There's no reason not to play them this week. I do not think that the Jets are going to have the magic answer for beating the New England Patriots this week. And I think that defense is going to probably force a little bit of trouble on the side of Darnold. So I'm going with New England. Just leave San Francisco on your waivers this week. Thank you for the donation. Mr. Tibbs with the donation says half PPR. Just to confirm, one Tennessee wide receiver rest of season. Humphreys ? Between him, A.J. Brown, and Corey Davis, if Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback, yeah, I'd rather have Humphreys over the rest. If it changes, and I mean, it's not changing. If they can go back to Mariota. If they go back to Mariota, then none of them are relevant. But yeah, at least Tannehill hopefully will bring some relevancy to the group. But yeah, I'd rather have Humphreys. And then your next question was Tevin Coleman or McLaurin at the flex. Probably I'm going with Tevin Coleman. Yeah, I'm going Tevin Coleman this week. Way more touches. And I think they're going to take the lead and run the clock out. And Tevin Coleman has a very high upside of finding the end zone this week comparatively. Thank you for the donation, Mr. Tibbs. Greg with a donation says, how do you feel about Benjamin Watson for the Patriots? I think if you pick him up, it's kind of a desperate pickup. They did cut him a couple weeks back, but re-signed him because they need depth at the tight end position. Izzo and Lacoste can't get it done. They are younger tight ends. I think they're just bringing him in for some veteran presence and being somewhat of a help offensively, but I don't think he's going to have enough value. He's not Gronk, and he's not going to see Gronk numbers, so I probably just pass up on his value going forward. All right. Thank you for the donation, Greg. VW Fan 32 says standard one flex DD Sanu Slayton Henderson. I don't want to play Darrell Henderson. I don't want to play Slayton between Sanu and DD. I would rather play Sanu this week. Thank you for the donation, VW Fan 32. Jason with another donation says McLaurin going to get smashed by the 49ers defense, and then he has a pointing sign to a guy flexing, and then he has a number 1. All right, thank you, Jason, for the donation. Mark Hall with another donation says Miles Sanders over Dorsett standard scoring format. All right, so here's the thing. Dorsett's technically questionable, but because of the fact that Josh Gordon is out, Dorsett's going to be the number 1 technically, playing the outside receiver spot for that offense. So as of right now, probably going to lean towards Dorsett in the standard. Miles Sanders. I want to actually see how much did Miles Sanders play last week in terms of snap counts in comparison to, let's see here. They were down a majority of the game, so they had to actually come back. So he probably saw a lot more work. 29% of offensive snaps. How many rushes? Only 3 rushing attempts. I'm playing Dorsett. 100%. Philip Dorsett is my suggestion, Mark Hall. All right. Woo. All right, we got through those. Now, we will see what we can do here, all right? All right. Be bold and go with Jacoby Myers over Monty. I don't know who Monty is. Is that Montgomery? All right. Let me check something out. How long have we been on? Okay, we've been on for like 40 minutes. I got to go to Patreon really quickly because I got a couple questions to answer there. Let's see here. I have... Okay, so... Okay, that's actually a damn good question. Where is the snap counts on these guys? All right, so we check that. I think it's that. Okay, that's fine. All right, cool. Send it. Accept it. Done it. Check that one. All right, there's another one of these Patreon questions. Weekly second wide receiver and flex question. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's go. All right, done. All right, now let's come back here. All right, so let me get back here. Okay, so what are we looking at? I mean, a lot of your guys' questions are pretty much on screen, unless I'm not looking at my screen correctly and I don't have, rankings to the left of me. I could swear to God, like, a lot of these are very, much so going to be answered. Like, Wentz or Allen, perfectly. Josh Allen. Graham or Knox. Knox isn't on the screen, therefore you go with Jimmy Graham because of the question marks at that receiver position. Obviously there's a lot of flex questions floating around. But as of right now, everything to the left of me should answer everything. I've got to go check something really quickly in terms of, is there any other news on inactives or actives? Like where? Let's see here. What's the night game? It's the Cowboys? Of course it is. It has to be. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. There it is. What else is this? Let's see here. Raiders inactive. Zay Jones is inactive as well. Tyrell Williams inactive. Their right tackle is inactive. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So they're gonna end Dwayne Harris, which is a punt return specialist or kick return. Okay. Interesting. They're gonna have a tough time passing the ball. Therefore, they're gonna probably run the ball with Jacobs the whole time and then feed Waller. So Waller, it's a little bit of a boost considering all of the wide receivers for the Raiders are pretty much just gone. Yeah, that's probably going to be a pretty big play this week. Darren Waller for certain. Okay, let's see here. The Money 20 with a donation says, full PPR, Galladay, Hilton, Will Fuller need to bro. All right, I'm probably going Hilton and I'm going Fuller. I like that matchup. I like their upsides. I know Galladay has been pretty consistent in each of the last 2 weeks. He is the number one of that team, but I personally would rather play Hilton than Will Fuller. I think both of them are just slated to have higher floors, and to be honest, both of them higher ceilings, deep playability, and targets. So, yeah, those are my 2 suggestions. Thank you very much for the donation. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, no problem, Christopher. Let's see. Is there any other questions that seem crazy here? Let's see here. The ESPN updated their injury list. Yeah, I have my own injury list on Twitter. There's a couple guys I follow that are really, I think they're ESPN employees, to be honest. So yeah, I think typically if you guys want to find like updates on inactives, each team will respectively post their own inactives, but then you could also go find like beat writers for every team. Like the Raiders has their own, the Chargers, Rams, whatever. They all have their own beat writers that get up to the date information, and then they post it on Twitter immediately. So you can go find those kind of guys for every team and then follow them and have everything for Sunday morning, etc. Let me come back to this chat, shall we? Nico says, good morning, Josh Allen or Goff standard league? Okay, so Nico, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm assuming you weren't here. So Josh Allen and Goff, they're back-to-back in my rankings. Therefore, I do think they're both going to have very good weeks, one playing against Miami and one playing against the Falcons defense, both defenses that have not done anything remotely good in a couple weeks now. Honestly, I'm probably leaning towards Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen, sure, he doesn't have the capabilities in terms of, feeding wide receivers with his arms like Jared Goff does, but Josh Allen has the overall presence of being able to run the ball, use his arm, and in the last couple of matchups against Miami, especially last season, over 100 yards rushing. I think he had 200 yards rushing in the last 2 games that he played against them, and 7 touchdowns in the last 2 games against Miami. So he's been pretty decent. Now, that being said, Jared Goff, another good play. Inside of a stadium in Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is not going to be able to send a pass rush or anything of that nature. In my opinion, that game is going to be a shootout rather than Josh Allen scoring early, running out clock second half. So there's always a potential that Josh Allen's performance is limited by the fact that, hey, they want to slow it down. But I'm hoping that they're just going to put 40 on them. If not, Jared Goff might be a technical better play, but I like the rushing ability of Josh Allen, that extra value that it presents. That's why I go with him. But yeah, Jared Goff, always a good play. Thank you for the donation, Nico. Okay, let me see here. Matt Ryan or Josh Allen? I would 100% play Matt Ryan. He's number 1. It's not even close. Come on. Should I take Lazard out of my DFS lineups? I don't know. Just depends. I know he's really cheap this week, but I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. It's a lot of question marks surrounding that. Let's see. What does it say? Golden Tate versus the Cardinals. Cole Beasley versus the Dolphins. Pretty sure I'm going Golden Tate this week. Raymond. Yeah, I'm going Golden Tate. Wilson or Goff? probably going Wilson. Even look, here's the thing about Jared Goff. Again, he doesn't have a bad matchup at all. I just think Wilson's just been a better quarterback. And sure, the Jared Goff matchup could make him the number one wide quarterback on the week. Excuse me. There's always a potential of that, but yeah, I'd rather just play the safety of Wilson. I don't see, with that offense not scoring a lot against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's not been great defensively thus far this season. Devlin Knox or Jason Witten. I think Witten's value diminishes because of the presence of Amari Cooper coming back. But is Devlin Knox worth it against Miami? That's just a big toss-up. I'd just rather play the safe floor of a Witten. But if you're looking for upside, you can try to find it in Devlin Knox this week. It's Dawson Knox. I don't know what I'm saying. It's Dawson. Let's see here. Should I trade Miles Sanders for Singletary? Yes. I think you should, young Melon. I would. I'm not convinced about the Miles Sanders train. I don't think Doug Peterson is either. Therefore, he doesn't see much work on the ground. He's just become a receiving back for that team. Let's see here. Chark or Golladay? I have Chark, I think, one ahead of Golladay, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. New donation coming in. Oh, my, yeah. Okay, let me see here. What are we doing here? All right, so the one God with $5 donation says, okay, relax on the donations, guys. You guys are coming in hot. All right, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, the one God with the donation says, Aaron Jones, Larry Fitz, DJ Chark, Marlon Mack, Josh Jacobs, Allen Robinson, John Brown, Dalvin Cook. Pick 2 of each and then start a flex. All right, cool. So let me go ahead. Give me your password to your account so I can set your lineup. I'm just playing. All right, so I'm playing Dalvin Cook, certainly. I'm playing Josh Jacobs, certainly. So those are my 2 running backs that I'm going and sending out there. So those are my 2 guys at the running back position, Cooks and Jacobs. Then at the wide receiver position, I'm going to be playing Larry Fitz and DJ Chark. Oh, no, scratch that. I'm playing, I'm playing John Brown, and then am I playing Fitz or Chark? Where the hell is my rankings? How far is Fitz below him? Is it a couple spots? Man, I don't know about it. It's tough. DJ Chark is, I'd probably go DJ Chark and John Brown at wide receiver. And as much as I struggle with the Larry Fitz Chark conversation, I'd probably play Aaron Jones at the flex. So I go Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook, Chark, and John Brown. So, unfortunately, we're leaving Marlon Mack and Larry Fitz and Allen Robinson on the bench. That's not a bad problem to have, but again, there's a lot of studs sitting on your bench, but it happens. Thank you for the donation. Okay, another donation came in, says, Kupp, Fitz, John Brown, Singletary. Which 3 should I play? Kupp, Brown, Fitz. You're good to go. Singletary is just a question mark. You don't have to risk the question mark. You don't have to play 2 Buffalo Bills. I think if you play Fitz, Kupp, and Brown, you're good to go, especially if it's a PPR format. I think it's a good way to run it. If I'm not mistaken, so the statistic I heard, and I need to shout out this person, damn. The New York Giants give up I think they give up the most points to slot receivers, and the Arizona Cardinals target the slot receiver more than any other team in the National Football League. And their slot receiver is Larry Fitzgerald. This is a good combination for this Sunday. So I'm liking Larry Fitz a lot this week. That's why I have struggled with some of these questions. But yeah, I'm probably going Kupp, Fitz, and John Brown. All right, Billy Nelson with the donation says, good morning. Half PPR, John Brown or Keenan Allen? John Brown or Keenan Allen? I'm probably playing Keenan Allen. I have a hard time sitting my stud. Like, I drafted Keenan Allen to play him. I want to start John Brown. If you can potentially start him and you can feel confident about it, and you can go with John Brown, lock that in, walk away from your computer or your phone, put it down, and just disappear for the next 40 minutes until game time starts, because I think the Bills play in the morning, If you can get away from the screen and you can get away from it, I don't mind playing John Brown. I really do think he's going to okay, actually, really quickly, I got to see if Xavier Howard is playing. So really quickly. Because he was limited all week. If Xavier Howard is out, it only helps. So let me see. Let me try to find the inactive list. Can someone confirm this for me? Let me check. If Xavier Howard is 100% out, then I feel more confident about the situation. I think he's out, right? Can someone confirm this? Let me see. Xavier Howard. No Xavier Howard. All right, he's out. We're playing John Brown. Play John Brown over Keenan Allen. I'm not even kidding. I will commit to it. I'm buying in. Thank you for the donation, Billy. All right, moving on. Michael Alvarado with a donation says, Bell, Kerryon, Johnson, or Hyde, pick 2. I'm playing Bell, certainly. Even though I don't like the matchup against the Patriots, I think he can get enough work in the passing game to find relevancy at the position. So the question is whether or not we're playing Hyde and or, what was the other guy? Hyde or Kerryon Johnson. I think they're back. No, they are back-to-back. Let me find this. They're back-to-back in my rankings. I have Hyde over Kerryon. I think, personally, I'd just rather play Hyde. Hyde played better in the last couple weeks. Sure, he may have had better matchups. He just sees more work, has been more efficient. Yeah, I'd rather play Carlos Hyde at this point. So I'm going with Bell and Hyde. Thank you, Michael. Will Taylor with a donation says, Allen or Brady? My opponent is playing Edelman. Personally, I'm playing Allen against Miami, but I don't mind Brady play. But Allen is my number at this moment because Patrick Mahomes already played this week. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Allen is my number 5 quarterback. Brady's at number 10. Could seem low. But again, if Brady doesn't get those rushing touchdowns like he did last week, what does he end up with? If they hand it off to Sony Michel or they hand it off to Brandon Bolden on the goal line, Brady gets 0 touchdowns last week, right? So there's always, the sketchiness of all of that noise. Yeah, I'd just rather play Josh Allen personally. Thank you for the donation, Will. Just because your opponent has Edelman doesn't really lean me towards trying to play Brady. I don't think that's like a 100% auto stack to where you want to cancel out his points. If Edelman ends up getting 8 touchdowns for 800 yards, then you probably want Brady on your team so that you can cancel that out. But I don't think anything big like that is coming. ET with a donation says, Singletary or Andrews at the flex? All right, that's a good question, actually. Okay, so Mark Andrews probably is a good play this week because of the absence of Hollywood Brown. Let me go ahead and confirm the absence of Hollywood Brown before I start. What is going on with James White? Why is he trending on Twitter? Anybody know this? Anybody? No, it's just a lot of people spamming questions about James White. If anybody has questions about James White in the comment section, just remember, in a PPR, half PPR format, he's a 10-point per guy every week. You put him at your flex, you put him at your wide running back too, 10 points, auto. If he scores a touchdown, even better. All right, who were we talking about now that I got off track? We were talking about Marquise Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown. If I knew how to spell, for the love of God. Let's see here. Can I not get Marquise Brown to pop up on Twitter? Is there nobody that has mentioned him as of late? Marquise Brown, blah, blah, questionable. Yeah, I don't care if he's questionable. The question is whether or not he's playing. Is he playing the afternoon slate? He does. That's why they haven't decided. It's a game time decision. We'll see about that. Singletary or Andrews in a flex PPR. Andrews will get like 14 points in a PPR this week. Like 7 receptions, 70 yards. I think that's what we're going to see from him. Is Singletary capable of scoring more than 14 points? If he scores a touchdown, yeah. But if he doesn't score more than a touchdown, I don't think that's the case. So I'm probably going Andrews over Singletary. I think a lot of these top-end tight ends, like these top 8 tight ends, top 7, this week are like really good, like flex good. So yeah, I'd probably play Andrews over Singletary in a full PPR. All right, Grime or Die with a donation says, Goff or Allen? I'd rather play Allen, but again, like I've mentioned to a lot of people, I don't mind Goff at all. Like, not at all. If you played Goff over Allen, I would not be upset one bit. I think both of them are extremely good plays on the week. Now, when we're talking about Chark or Woods, listen, if you want to play Goff, you stack him with Woods. If you're going to play Allen, just go with Chark. I think that's a good way to do it. Now, personally, in my rankings, I got Chark and I got Allen higher. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you want to go with Goff and you think he's going to have a monster game, then so is Woods. I think he's going to have a monster game, but just as, it's pretty similar in terms of output than Allen in my eyes as of right now. So, yeah, so that's my thought process. Will Taylor with another donation says, thanks, bro. Chark, Fitz, Jeffrey, Gallup, pick 3. Okay, cool. This is pretty easy in my eyes. I think I'm going Chark, Fitz, and Gallup. I'm going to leave Jeffrey out of the conversation, even though I really do like Alshon Jeffrey this season. Has been pretty good. Deshaun Jackson doesn't return this week. But personally, he's been 10 points. He's been pretty good. 10 points. 10 points plus in half PPR. But the other guys just have more baseline upside, in my opinion, comparatively. So I'm going to go with the other three. Gallup, Chark, Fitz. Thank you for the donation. Jason with another donation says, Snead or Pettis? 10-team PPR. I'm going with Pettis. I'm playing Pettis today. I'm not playing Snead. Never again. He's a hidden gem. He never was even found. The dude is I thought it was a gem, and then it turned into just a piece of, garbage. All right, moving on. Somebody in the chat says Calvin Ridley or Alshon Jeffrey PPR. Calvin Ridley is my suggestion. Sanu or MVS in the standard. I'm going with Sanu. Keenan Allen against the Titans or Brandon Cooks. I don't mind Keenan Allen against the Titans. I have a hard time leaving him on my bench. Thoughts on N'Keal Harry rest of the season, says Mr. Tibbs. N'Keal Harry rest of the season. If I'm not mistaken, he's begun practicing. Actually, I want to confirm that. Patriots practice report. Where is the practice? Okay, that's preseason. No, practice. Okay, so this week, did he even practice this week? I thought he was going to practice. Let me see here. If he didn't practice this week, then we got problems. In terms of rest of the season, I think he's got a good chance. Again, guys, you got to remember, it's only week 7. We have, another, 9 weeks of fantasy football for the regular season. Or not regular season, as in for fantasy football. So this guy could have value eventually. But as of right now, Patriots rookie, progress on his return, blah, blah, blah. I don't really see anything much. As of right now, they drafted him in the first round to come in and be the wide receiver one of the future. Thoughts for the future on him? I think rest of the season, N'Keal Harry could come in and play a big part. It's just whether or not he does. I'm just worried that he might get lost in the IR position. And if Josh Gordon comes back, they'll give him priority, blah, blah, blah. But if he can come back sooner rather than later, he could have value. If you have an IR slot on your team, might as well throw him in there. Okay, Lambert with another donation. Thank you very much. Auden Tate or Golden Tate in a full PPR. I'd rather play Golden Tate, over Auden Tate. Even though I do think they're both pretty good plays in PPR. Golden Tate is my suggestion. Outside of running the ball with Saquon, feeding the ball to Evan Ingram, it's going to be Golden Tate in that offense against the Cardinals defense. Should be pretty good this week. Thank you for the donation, Lambert. Mike with a donation says Melvin Gordon, Tariq Cohen. What is that? Chase Edwards. Jordan Howard, full PPR, pick 2. Oh, my God. That's the hardest question of the day, by the way. Yikes. That is by far the hardest question of the day. Because I don't want to play Melvin Gordon. But I think I have a hard time playing. I'm not going to play Tariq Cohen or Chase Edmonds over him. That's the thing. As of right now, I'm probably playing Melvin Gordon and Jordan Howard. Even though it's a full PPR, then the idea of playing Tariq Cohen doesn't become a bad option at all. Tariq Cohen has value with 6 receptions for 40 yards. He can have 10 points there. The question is Melvin Gordon capable of 10 points? From what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, there is no indication that this offense is getting better, and there's no indication that Melvin Gordon is being able to produce within said offense. So it gives me a little bit of a hesitancy in trusting his value. So as of right now, as it sits, the safest play is to play your studs. Therefore, you play Melvin Gordon, you play Jordan Howard. But in a full PPR, I honestly don't mind the prospect of throwing in Tariq Cohen and Chase Edmonds. That might be the sketchiest play that you could possibly find. But as of right now, in a full PPR, I think it might be the way to go. Thank you for the donation. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Jose007 says, McLaurin or Golden Tate in a full PPR flex. Keep it up, bro. Thank you very much, Jose. As of right now, I'm probably going with Golden Tate. I'm assuming. Am I going with Golden Tate? Where the heck's my rankings? My rankings, I'm looking at them. Where the heck is it? Where the hell are you, Golden Tate? 23. And then where the heck is who the heck? Dude, I have so much CTE flaring up right now. McLaurin, thank you very much. Goodness gracious. Where's McLaurin on my list? 24. Oh my God, they're right next to each other. Yeah, I'm playing Golden Tate over McLaurin. McLaurin obviously has upside of a touchdown, but I think Golden Tate in a full PPR just has more of a base value that I'm willing to roll with. Thank you for the donation, Jose. Moby One Kenobi, baby. You're my only hope. All right, says thank you for the donation number 1, Moby One. Martin, you're the best. Full PPR. Hi. I'm everywhere. Hunter Henry or Speedy Breida in heavy rain. Is it 100% heavy rain? Because, last time we sat here on a Sunday morning and people were telling me it was going to rain during the Chiefs and Ravens game. I left this table. I went to the other room. I turned on the television. And all of a sudden, I see no rain in that game. So can we... does anybody have is someone living in... Where is it? Is it in Washington? Who lives in... Who lives over there? Huh? What are we doing? Where is it? Washington versus 49ers. Let me see this weather report. Before we go ahead and get to that, Zach Williams says half PPR. Actually, you know what? Hold up. Before we even get there, actually, let's get to Zach Williams because Martin, you can wait. You know it. Zach Williams says Ingram, Chark at the flex. Bengals cornerbacks are out. Yeah, I know. I think. As of right now, between the two, Ingram is the safer play against Seattle. I have a hard time not playing Ingram this week, especially comparatively to Chark. Because Chark, he's been so good, though. Damn, that is actually a good question. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me go find my Google thing, and then I got to find my flex rankings from earlier in the week. That's such a good question. Damn. Ingram or Chark? Like, it's not a bad problem to have either. It's just like they both have like pretty instantly good matchups. Like Seattle's defense has not been great, like at all. So the question remains like, is it even a good idea? Shit. Okay, so here's the thing, Zach. I'm just like looking at Mark Ingram's like carries, his yard totals, and then also on top of it, his touchdown upside. I'm just gonna go with Chark. I think the floor and probably the upside sits on Chark's side. If Ingram scores 2 touchdowns, then maybe he has more points. But outside of that, there's very little likelihood of him outscoring Chark this week. I'm going Chark. Thank you for the donation, Zach. All right, back to Moby One. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we decided Matt Bryant is the right way to go. Okay, cool. So between Hunter Henry and Matt Breida, I'm playing Matt Breida. Here's the thing. Even if it's heavy rain, I think that only promotes running the ball even more. I just feel like Breida's value is just a little too much to not play him. I love Hunter Henry against the Titans. My rankings also prove that. I love the prospect of just playing him this week in general because, just from what we saw last week, it's absolutely fantastic. But between the two, I'd rather play Breida. I think he's a safer play in the flex. Thank you, Moby One. Let's see here. Dew says, yo, full PPR, Latavius Murray, Devin Singletary in the flex. Latavius Murray, where does he sit in half PPR for me? I think it's like 17, right? He's at 18, and then I have Singletary 21. In a full PPR, Latavius Murray is still going to see work in the passing game. The question is whether or not Singletary against the Miami Giants, holy shit, what was that? The Miami Dolphins is a better matchup than Murray against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. I'm probably, in a full PPR, I'm probably going Singletary. I think he's going to see some, you know what? No, I don't know. That's tough. I'm just scared about Murray. I'm scared about him. I think Singletary's usage could be pretty good this week because of the Dolphins matchup. In a full PPR, I'm probably playing Singletary. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much for the donation. Okay, let's go back here. Let's see here. I have to go back to Patreon. I got to update this sucker. All right, there's a question that rolled through, so I'm going to go check this out really quickly. Cool. John with a question says, okay. Okay, this is actually a relatively easy question. Whoa, okay, that's good. All right, nice, done. Next. Alrighty, back to the lab. Here we go. Let's see here. Solomon with a donation says, I have Lamar. Should I trade Wentz for Singletary? Okay, so here's my question. Well, Lamar Jackson has a bye week in 2 weeks, because I think he does, right? Ravens schedule. When do they have a bye week? I think they have a bye week in 9 or 10. When they have a bye week in 9 or 10, who are you replacing? Oh, it's week 8. It's next week. So who are you replacing with him? Who are you going to play in his place? That's the big question. If you can find a ample replacement off of the waivers, yes, you should trade Wentz for Singletary, because I don't know what Wentz is going to do the rest of the season. But if you don't have a replacement for him, who does Wentz play next week? Let's see here. Eagles, week 8. Let's see here. Eagles, week 8. They play Buffalo. Yeah, I would trade him. I would trade Wentz for Singletary. And then I'd go pick up Sam Darnold if he's available. Let's see here. Someone said, do I start Lazard over Sanu? No, why would you do that? No. It's raining hard in Washington. I feel like that just promotes running the ball. That just hurts, like, Pettis. Or it hurts McLaurin, you know? Let's see here. Aaron Jones or Chark in a standard flex. Aaron Jones versus the Raiders or Chark. I have a hard look again. This is always that tricky question, right? Do we rather play a wide receiver 2 that has upside to be a wide receiver 1, or would we rather play the running back 2 that we know is going to have the guaranteed touches and probably have, you know, some goal line work or get peppered with some targets out of the backfield? Personally, I'd rather play Aaron Jones. But I don't mind the idea of playing Chark. Like, who did I talk about earlier that we were playing Chark over? We were playing Chark over Ingram, right? How much higher is Ingram over Aaron Jones on my list here? Or how much, you know, closer? I think they're pretty close, right? And Jones is at 11. Ingram's at like 16. They're not too far apart. 5 spots isn't a big difference. 1 to 5 makes a difference, or 36 to 31. They're not relatively too far apart. But in terms of would I rather play Chark over him? I think I'd rather play Aaron Jones over Chark, personally. Let's see here. What is this? Okay, FLM00 says, okay, so that was that question. Thank you for the donation. Let's see here. I'm actually curious. We got about 20 minutes, guys. Give me a second. Thank you for all the donations thus far. I really do appreciate it, guys. What the heck? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Michael says, full PPR, start 2. Kenny Golladay, Michael Gallup, John Brown. I'm playing John Brown. You know what I love? I love how Xavier Howard is just like, I'm hurt for the next couple weeks because, we're getting smacked. Like, it's just so good. It's going to happen. A lot of these Miami Dolphin players are not going to want to play anymore. After the season continues to progress. But anyway, the whole point we were trying to make is between Golladay and Michael Gallup. Where's my rankings right now? I have Gallup at 18. I have Golladay at 15. The question is Gallup going to score a touchdown over the top of the defense against the Philadelphia team on Sunday Night Football? I think the answer is yes. But in a full PPR, would I rather have him or Golladay? I think the safety is around Golladay. So I'm probably going Brown and Golladay. But if you want to play Gallup for a more upside over Golladay, then you certainly can. But personally, I'm going to suggest Golladay and Brown. Thanks for the donation. Patrick Murphy with a $2 donation. Didn't say anything. I'm going to see if I can find your message, Patrick, if you went ahead and sent one. If not, thank you for the donation. But I'm going to look a little bit here. Patrick, where are you? Rain also promotes ankle injuries. And Breida loves to hurt his ankles. You're right, Moby One. You're right. He definitely does like getting injured. Patrick Murphy says, half PPR, Murray or Gordon. I'm playing Latavius Murray. Jiminy Christmas. I'm playing Latavius Murray over Melvin Gordon this week. Okay, hold the figgity phone. I gotta change the lineup because somebody on one of my lineups is out with an injury or something. Alrighty. Andrew's got to set his own lineups. All right, people, relax. We'll get there eventually. Hopefully, if you guys have been waiting in the comment section asking flex questions, hopefully one of your flex questions were answered. If they weren't, the rankings are to the left of me. Hopefully that helps you out. If the rankings to the left of me doesn't help you out, then I'm sorry to hear about that. All right. So we got to replace this dude, and we got to put somebody else in. We'll just throw this guy in because I don't have enough time. Actually, what record is this team? This team is dying as we speak. Feels good. Oof. Wow, this is a rough squadron, don't we have? Come on, Devontae Adams. Why can't you just play? God, that's awful. All right, let's see if there's any waiver wire pickups I can make here. Come on. Can this thing load? Holy moly, this is slow. Chris with a donation says standard flex John Brown or Mixon. I'm playing John Brown. Yeah, I'm gonna probably play John Brown today. I think John Brown has a similar week to what McLaurin had last week. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. No, I don't know about that, but he should have a really good game today. So yeah, that's my suggestion. All right, let's do this. I'm going to play Kumaro at my number 3 wide receiver on this team. Let's see how this goes, shall we? Kumaro it is. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Da-da-da. Okay, that's fine. So for those of you who are asking, like full PPR versus half PPR, specifically the questions like from Masked Bandit, it's like Aaron Jones or Mark Ingram full PPR. Like Mark Ingram doesn't get any work in the passing game in a full PPR, but Aaron Jones does. So besides the fact that Aaron Jones is higher ranked on my screen, on top of that, Aaron Jones gets far more work in the passing game, therefore it only increases his value that much more. So I go with Aaron Jones. Okie dokie, that's all right. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I gotta come back over here and refresh this page. All right, guys. Well, I got another Patreon question I gotta answer. Again, Patreon link is down in the description, guys. For those of you looking to get all of your 2019 fantasy football questions answered. $5 a month, unlimited questions, flex questions. So you don't have to donate here at the YouTube chat. You just message me on a weekly basis on the Patreon page. Quick and easy. Private live streams twice a week, Mondays on Waiver Wire Mondays, and at night during the Monday night game, we just hang out and talk. And then on Sundays, morning, afternoon time. Let's see here. Funky Monkey with a $2 donation says, standard, Miles Sanders, Pettis, Lazard, Allison. Oof. Yikes. Oh, my goodness. All right, this is a tough one now because I don't want to play Miles Sanders in a standard unless he scores a touchdown. And I don't want to play Lazard or Allison, and I don't really want to play Pettis in a rain game. Ooh, in a standard league, huh? I think I'm going to play Pettis. I think I'm crazy enough to where if Josh Norman's out and it's raining and no one on that team can... And nobody can play defense. Holy crap. Thank you. God bless me. No one can play defense. Whew. I just had a concussion off that one, guys. It's hot in my room. And I might end the stream in like 2 seconds. I don't know. My brain hurts now. Okay, anyway. What I was saying. I'm probably playing Pettis, Funky Monkey. Over Lazard, over Allison, over Sanders. That's my suggestion. If you're thinking, hey, you know what? I'd rather just, try to play one of the Green Bay wide receivers. You certainly can. I'd probably play Allison before them. If he's healthy and he's ready to go, then he's probably starting. But Lazard, again, is a big question mark at this moment in time. All right, so Bless you. Thank you very much, Jaybird Fishing. I appreciate that. Chark or F1 McLovin? How did this become from F1 McFlurry to McLovin to McLaurin? Like, what the hell is going on? Should we just call him McLaurin or McLovin or McFlurry? Which one is it? McFlurry, right? He should just be called McFlurry. I think that seems right. That seems due. Edelman or Gallup in a standard? Edelman or Gallup in a standard probably... It's probably closer than it is in the half PPR format, but I'm probably still going with Edelman. I'm probably. Let's see here. Gordon or Jeffrey? I'm assuming that's not Josh Gordon, so it's a flex question. Zach Williams says, excellent job on the channel. Love the content, man. I appreciate it, Zach. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of the season videos. I had enough time this week to be able to crank those out. I'd been thinking about that for a while. Also, I'll talk about like rest of season defenses later next week, probably on the waiver wire Monday show tomorrow, just to kind of give you guys a lot of perspective on rest of season kind of stuff. Dave says best QB rest of season: Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. Okay, if I'm gonna play one rest of season, and I'm not gonna be able to play the other ones rest of season, I'm probably rolling out. Like, schedule makes a big difference, but so does like just talent. Like, talent makes a huge difference. And is Kyler Murray talented enough against a couple? I think he plays San Francisco twice, and then in like the next 5 weeks, which is sketch. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to survive against that pass rush. So personally, rest of season, which quarterback would I rather play? Probably Josh Allen, then Sam Darnold, then Kyler Murray. The only reason I would ever put Josh Allen slightly ahead of Sam Darnold is because I don't like the head coach for the Jets. That's it. That's all it is. He's the offensive mind there. Sometimes he does stupid things that pisses me off, and it gets me a little bit sketched out about him. But like, Sam Darnold's schedule should make him the best quarterback. Miami, Giants, like weeks 9 through 14 should be able to carry you. So for the next 5 weeks, sure, it should be Josh Allen. But if I have to carry throughout the rest of the year, I'm looking at this Sam Darnold schedule and I'm thinking to myself, it has to be him, right? It probably is Sam Darnold. It's close though. It's him and Josh Allen. I don't want to touch Kyler Murray rest of the season. Even though Kyler Murray's been pretty good so far, I just don't think he has anything on these other two guys. Start 2, Hunter Henry, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Boyd. I don't know what your scoring format is. I don't know if it's full or half PPR, but I'm going to assume it's some sort of PPR because a lot of people don't play standard anymore, right? We've kind of moving past that. By the way, Carl Stedman, Rams or Packers defense? I'm playing Packers this week. Is Amari Cooper suiting up tonight? The answer is yes. So, yeah. Anyway, to get back here, Hunter Henry, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Boyd, pick 2. Oh, man. I certainly want to go with, like, oh, goddamn. The question is Brandon Cooks more valuable than Hunter Henry this week? I'm probably playing Hunter Henry, and I'm probably playing Tyler Boyd. In any sort of... yeah, I'm probably going with those two. Hunter Henry, Tyler Boyd. Thank you for the donation. Zero Tag 79 with the donation says, PPR, Flex, Latavius Murray, Mixon, Jamal Williams. I'm playing Latavius Murray, then Mixon, then Jamal Williams in a full PPR. Thank you for the donation. All right, guys, it's 9:50. I'm going to give it about, a couple more minutes. Let me see if I can rail through these comment section questions. A lot of them can be answered pretty quickly. I understand a lot of your questions revolve around different scoring formats. But again, the difference between these guys aren't too big of a deal. Like Cooper versus Fuller in a standard. Even though I do like the upside of a touchdown with Fuller, there's no way in hell I'm not starting Amari Cooper this week, or even Cooper Kupp this week over Fuller. So I'm playing Amari Cooper over him against the Eagles. Let's see here. Jimmy Graham or Witten? Yeah, I'm probably playing Jimmy Graham, Justin. Coleman, Jones, or Singletary, flex PPR. Manuel, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what we have on the list here. I'm probably going Jones, then Coleman, then Singletary. The full PPR does make a difference, but all of them get work in the passing game. Let's see here. Zach Williams of the donation says Gabriel or Aguilar. Standard scoring. Yikes. Standard scoring. Then we play Gabriel. We play Taylor Gabriel, and we hope to God. The problem with Taylor Gabriel is he hasn't played in the last 2 weeks. Last time we saw him play, he had 3 touchdowns. The question is Taylor Gabriel capable? I mean, listen, he's the number 2 wide receiver of that team. When he's healthy, he's the number 2. Let's go with Taylor Gabriel. Let's not play Nelson Aguilar in a standard league. Let's not do that. Goff or Cousins? It's Goff, Carl. It's 100%. Is it Dak or Goff? Clayton, it's Goff. Let's see here. Rest of season, Minshew, Stafford, or Brissett? Probably rest of season, I'm going with Brissett because I think Minshew gets replaced in a couple weeks because, what's his name? Nick Foles comes back. Do you think Edelman will play? Certainly. Yeah, the questionable tag is just for safety, precautionary reasons. They have to mark him as questionable. DJ or Gore? 100% I'm playing DJ, Steven. David Montgomery or D.D. Westbrook? That's a flex question. Almost got caught, Jordan. You almost got me, dude. Almost got me. Let's see here. A lot of flex questions, huh? Josh Allen or Carson Wentz? It's Josh Allen. Genius graphics. Basil, let's see. Basil says, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson? Listen, how do you guys have these 2 quarterbacks? How? Did you guys draft Deshaun Watson early and then just like sneak and grab Lamar Jackson late? Like, that's such a good combo. To be honest, I'm rolling out Deshaun Watson. Personally, that's just my suggestion. Young Risky with the $1 donation doesn't have a message, but I'm going to try to see if you can type one out if you have a question. Triangle Trav with the donation says, Latavius Murray or MVS, full PPR. I'd rather play Latavius Murray. I don't want to play MVS this week. I'm just sketched out about it, the entire situation of his injury and stuff like that. If MVS wants to have a good week finally, then that'd be great because he hasn't had one since they played Denver in week 3. So I'm waiting. I'm not holding my breath either for him. Where are we at? Who was I looking for? Young Ricky? No? Do you have a question? Yeah, you do. Cool. I found it. Full PPR flex. Pick one. Scary Terry or Crowder? I'm playing Crowder. No, you know what? Full PPR? Yeah, I'm playing Crowder. In a full PPR, Crowder has too much value to pass up on. Now that people are telling me that this is a rain game and it's going to be heavy pouring, then I don't really want to deal with a Terry McLaurin in that kind of a weather condition. I'd rather play Jamison Crowder against the Patriots when Robbie Anderson's not open, when the running game is stuffed, and he has to drop back and just throw it 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards every time to a receiver and just rack him up. So thank you for the donation, Young Rookie. Let's see here. Another donation from, I don't know, is it Basil? Abdallah. Okay, let's see here. I was offered that trade. Oh, you were offered that trade. I have Deshaun and Sam Darnold. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so rest of the season, I'd rather have Deshaun Watson, certainly. So if that was a trade you were offered, I'd rather have Deshaun Watson going forward rest of the season. I think the wide receivers that surround him are far better. Sure, Lamar Jackson has the ability to run the ball, which is always going to be something that Deshaun Watson can keep up with, but obviously not to the extent of where he's running the ball 20 times a game like Lamar Jackson can. But having Deshaun Watson and Sam Darnold, that combo, that's clean. You're good to go, dude. All right. Anyway, guys, it's 9:55. I want to thank everybody for coming out, joining us today. Hopefully the rankings on the left answer your question. Hopefully me answering some of these flex questions that people sent in donations for answer your questions. If nothing was answered, again, remember, Patreon link is down in the description for those of you looking to get all of your 2019 fantasy football questions answered on a weekly basis. I really do appreciate it. Again, let's see here. I'm going to just try to kill off like 3 or 4 more questions in the chat. Here we go. Killer of Light says, greetings and salutations, my man. Kind of late today, but I watched the whole stream, though. Full PPR. Pick 2. Chark, Boyd, Gallup, McLaurin. Also, don't know if I should flex Gurley. I don't think Gurley's perfectly fine today. If he's healthy and he's playing, he's good to go, especially against that terrible Falcons defense. But between Chark, Boyd, Gallup, McLaurin, I'm probably going to go with Chark, and I'm probably going to go with... where do I have Boyd and Gallup on this respective list? I have Gallup at 18 and I have Boyd at 20. Yeah, so we're going to go with Chark and Gallup. A couple more questions. Latavius Murray, Singletary. I don't mind the Singletary play. Latavius Murray is just less sketchy. I don't know, man. Maybe Singletary is less sketchy. That's a tough one. I've struggled with that one earlier today. John Brown or Gallup? John Brown. Jeff Fitzpatrick. Look at this. It's a random situation. Okay, hold on. Wait. I have to point this out. There's a random situation going on in the chat. Here we go. All the way, guys. Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna get there right now. Here we go. All right, here we go. So we have Roy that says, "I'll donate $5 if you answer this one simple question. I need to handcuff one running back at the moment before it's too late. I have Zeke, Sony Michel." That's nice. Well, Michelle. Derrick Henry, Singletary, and Henderson. I don't understand. I need to handcuff one running back at this very moment before it's too late? What do you mean? So you want a handcuff for... You want me to tell you which handcuff on these group of guys? I don't understand. So you want me to say, who do I think is going to get hurt? I don't have an answer for you. Thank you guys for coming. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.